All right, so when a customer walks on the lot for a car deal or a motorhome or whatnot, and if you're taking cold leads from the lot, this is an easy way of doing it. People walk up, they're going to more likely give you like the high mans. Whoa, 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 we don't need help. Folks, I'm not here to help you. I already sold 3 cars today. I mean, if I can help you, then I'll help you. But to be honest with you, I've sold way more than I was supposed to sell, and I really don't need your sale. But hey, if you need my help, I would love to help you. And let's face it, all the cars are locked up anyway. So if I can help you, then I'll help you. But I'm cool. I'm cool. But hey, if you just need my help, just wave your hand, and hopefully I see you. Here's my card, just in case I don't see you. But what they'll do is a lot of times they'll look, if they're really, really tough, sometimes when you're first starting out, you're probably going to want them to walk around the lot a little bit until you guys get used to doing this, because some of the things I'm going to teach you is kind of tough when you first start doing them, because a lot of people just say, you can't do that, and I've done it. And I'll go into some of that stuff. It was interesting to me back when I sold cars and motorhomes and stuff like that. And it's stuff that just works. It's cool. Just apply it. It works. So just tell folks, say, basically, they'll say, here's one. They'll say, oh, we're just looking. Great. Most of my customers start out by just looking. What exactly are you looking for? And you shut up, the first person that talks loses, right? So you let them talk and say, well, we're looking for a car. We're looking for a truck. We're looking for a car. Who's the vehicle for? Is it for you? Or is it for you? If there's 2 people or whatever. And they're like, no, it's for my wife that's not here. So all the decision makers aren't there. So I'm like, okay, great. What exactly is she looking for? Is she going to, and they're like, oh, she's looking for a 4-door car. Does she go to just back and forth to work? Does she take care of the kids? What's important to her on the car? Oh, she needs, this, that, and the other, da, da, da. And what you're doing is you're fact finding, because what you're going to do is the more the customer tells you how to sell them or close them, because sales is most salespeople are tour guides, right? Let's face it. But you want to close them, because closers, that's the best part, is closing deals. And if you learn how to close, you can do 3-4 cars or whatever. I almost did a hat trick in motorhome industry. So, I mean, I guess it's even possible if you streamline it and you don't have a bunch of nonsense going on in the company where guys' egos have gone a little bit wild, So it happens. The pride, right? But you can say, great, most of my customers start out by just looking what exactly you're looking for, and just add to it. And then after you start adding to that, just say, does she like light colors? Does she like dark colors? Does she like, are you guys going to do any traveling with it? You got a dog? You got kids? What's going on, man? You know what I mean? And basically they'll tell you. They'll like, don't say what's going on, man, but just say, who's it for? Blah, 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 blah. And you just go ahead and start collecting information on this, that, and the other. Well, I tell you what, man, if you allow me to collect a little bit more information, it's quite hot out here or cold out here or wherever the fuck it is. But if you allow me to collect a little bit of information, because I'd hate to show you too much of a vehicle and you fall in love with it, or she falls, it's kind of hard if she's not there. If all the decision makers are there, and you'll learn that by asking the questions. But if the decision makers are there, you can find out, if you allow me to collect some information, because I'd hate to show you too much of a vehicle and you fall in love with it and then find out you can't afford it. And then you're mad at me. And then more likely they're going to go, no, well, we wouldn't be mad at you. Why would we be mad at you? But worst of all, I would hate to show you too less when you could afford more. Wouldn't you agree? And they go, yeah. And you say, great, follow me. And then what you do is you start walking into the direction that you want them to go. Most of the time, I mean, don't even look back, because they're going to follow you. Just assume they're going to follow you, and they'll follow you. Don't look back. Just walk right through it. And if they don't follow you, just go get yourself a soda, because they don't get it. But everybody I've done this to, if they do it, I assume the sale. I literally walk them in, and what I do is I find out, well, it doesn't matter if it's $100 or if it's $1,000,000, it wouldn't have fit in a budget, in your budget. See, I'm getting mixed up because I haven't done it in so long. But if you did that out there too, say, folks, let's face it, if it doesn't fit in your, most people live on a budget, and I know I do. But if you allow, if you allow me to click some information, you go back to where I was going into. If you allow me to click some information, I hate to show you too much of a vehicle and too much less of a vehicle, like I was saying earlier, right? And then what they'll do is you bring them in, and then you say, great, like I said before, most people live on a budget. What are you guys budgeting down payment on this new car of yours? That's going to be a 2-door, 4-door, whatever it is. And we're telling you, this on this 2-door, light color car with tinted windows or whatever is important to them, right? So then they'll go, well, I don't want to do no more $500. Say, well, if I found you a perfect vehicle, and whatever they tell you, $1,000, $10,000, whatever it is, $100. Well, if I'll be honest with you, folks. If I could find you the perfect vehicle, would you be a little flexible on that? They're going to give you a little bit of money. Not to be sleazy about it, but you might need it to get this deal done. So just go ahead and ethically, if you don't help them, they're going to have to go to the next dealership or go to the next place and go here and go talk to Uncle Bob and everybody else. And you're literally wasting their time because you're not doing your job. You have to close these deals, because if not, you're doing them a disservice. And it's costing you money. It's costing the dealership or wherever you're working. It's costing them advertisement budget too. So you're literally screwing everybody if you don't close deals. So what you do is you go and find out your down payment, you find your monthly payment, and usually I'll go ahead and say, well, for the perfect vehicle, would you be a little flexible with that? They'll give you a little bit more money for monthly payment, because everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. So if you collect that information, you get a credit application. Get a credit application before you show them any things. And what you do, the way you do that is you're collecting information. You have a credit application already go. So what you do is you have your pen there, and what you do is you go ahead and I usually flip it upside down or whatever it is, and I collect that information, and I'll go ahead and I'll say, okay, great. Well, if you guys don't, if you don't mind, go ahead and fill this out. That way I know exactly where you're at. Can I grab you a water or anything? And you leave it with them with a pen, and you have the pen pointing to the application. And they'll go ahead and fill out the fucking application for you and tell you what their credit is. You'll have the down payment, you'll have the monthly payment, and you got all the information. You find out what's important to them. They like light colors, dark colors, trucks, cars, SUVs. What's important? They got a dog, they got a cat. The cat goes traveling, the dog goes traveling with them. They're gonna go to Colorado. They're gonna go out to Wyoming. They're gonna go around the world with the thing. They got a dog they go to the park. They got kids that they go to soccer practice. You get what I'm saying, right? So when you have a credit application, you have down payment, you have monthly payment, and then your manager, if he possibly has done his half of his ass job that they do, they'll be able to tell you, say, hey, if they're intelligent enough to be able to see the opportunity. There's some of them aren't. And I'll be honest with you, because I've worked around some idiots, but that's just the nature of stuff. And I don't know how they get where they're at, but I guess they just show up. I mean, you see it in politics too. I mean, they're not that smart. But anyways, I won't get caught on that. I got some issues, I guess. But be transparent about it. But if they got the down payment, the monthly payment, they got a credit application, they can pull credit on it. And be honest with you, folks, we're going to go ahead and pull credit on it. And I don't even say nothing to them. They know what the fuck it is. They don't need to know. That's part of the information that you're gathering. You got a credit application, you got down payment, monthly payment, and you know exactly what they want. And if the manager has half a brain in their head, should be able to say, hey, what you do is you look at them and say, here's all this information. This is what I got. What's going to make us the most money? 1, 2, 3. And if you got a smart manager, be like, this one's going to make you the most money. This is going to make you the most money, and this will make the most money. But you got to find out before you do this. You got to find out if they like, new cars or a used vehicle, pre-owned vehicle. And normally, what I'll do is they'll say, "I want a new vehicle," and be like, "If I could show you how to save thousands of dollars, would you be interested?" And you're like, "What do you mean?" "Well, we got pre-owned vehicles that are all certified. Would you be interested in that?" So that even opens up a whole nother, way of closing these deals, because what you're doing is all the information that you're gathering through the interview process is actually putting tools in your tool belt to help you close this deal. Folks, you did say that this is the perfect vehicle for you. You did say you like light colors. You did say you like four-door cars. You did say that trunk would work for you. You'd be able to put all your luggage in it when you take the trip or whatnot. Or that SUV, you did say your dog would be able to get in there. And then when you get out, then what you do is you go out there and get the fucking car. You grab the key fob or whatever, you grab the car, and just tell them, say, "Hey, I'm going to go grab a couple vehicles. I'll pull them up here. The AC will be on. And just hang out here. Can I grab you anything to drink or anything before I run out there?" "Yeah, sure," or whatever. Grab them a Coke or whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to make money any way you look at it, because you're taking care of your customer and you're making deals, right? So if you're selling 3 or 4 cars a day, you ain't going to worry about 50 cents dropping for a soda or whatever, right? You got to think abundantly, right? So what you do is you grab the car, and what you do is you go ahead. Normally what I did is I had a little designated area where I could do it. I could leave the AC running. There was guys around. I would actually butterfly the car. I'd pull the car up, butterfly the car, and then I would grab the customer and say, "Hey folks, I got the car out." Or if it's a busy area, what you could do is go grab the folks, say, "Hey folks, I got the car pulled out." And that's normally what I did, because it was a busy dealership. Or, you could do it the other way, but you've got to make sure. I would say go ahead and pull the car up, grab the customers. "Hey folks, I got the vehicle up," but don't go walk all the way in. That way, when they're walking out, you can go ahead and butterfly the car, open the driver's side, the trunk, the passenger side. If it's 4-door, start doing the back, do the trunk, open everything. It's called butterfly. So you butterfly everything, and then you go ahead and you basically stand at the front of the vehicle on a catty corner, right? So that's where you start your presentation. You go ahead and start. It's called a walk around, right? So you got the car butterflied. You do your full walk around, and you start out, basically stand there until they go ahead. They'll jump in the car. They'll play with the radio, whatever they're doing. Like, woohoo, it's play. You know what I mean? They're having fun. It's awesome. I mean, they light up, right? They're having fun. They're going to remember this. They're going to buy a car from you, right? Because they're going to own the car for years and years to come, right? So you stand there and say, "All right, I would like to go over," and this is part of your walk around. It's pretty easy, right? So, you find out in the interview process if say what's the most important to you in your next vehicle: safety, reliability, economy, all the basic stuff. I mean, it's amazing what people don't do in the interview process. We went shopping ourselves, and I'm just like, oh my God. It was like amateur night at the Improv, you know what I mean? It wasn't good. But, you start your walk around, and what you normally do is all cars have one thing: crumple zones. Crumple zones are those little tiny little, like almost indentions on the fenders that go down. So what all cars have them. Crumple zones. What are you familiar with crumple zones, folks? You're like, no. And I usually walk it in. This would be your radiator cap. This would be your oil. This is where you top your oil off. This is your dipstick if it has one still. Here's your transmission fluid if it has one. Here's your battery. And then, folks, are you familiar with crumple zones? What the fuck is a crumple zone, right? Crumple zones, what they do is, just in case of a frontal impact, it disperses the energy around the cabin. All cars have this shit. No one ever sells it, right? Unsold, untold. The crumple zones, what they do is they disperses the energy around the cabin. The motor drops down, keeping you and your family safe. That's important to you, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's fucking important to me. Great. And what you do is you basically name off things that you're seeing. Whatever you see, just say, you see the special guard on the front of here. And then also it has ABS braking system. What's the best accident to have? Well, no accident. Exactly. The one you prevent in the first place, right? Yeah, well, that's why you have ABS braking system, and just in case if something does happen, you got crumple zones to keep you and your family safe. Plus, it has an airbag system, and you can go right into detail there. And then you go ahead and walk around to the passenger side, and what you do is you go ahead and you might know who actually will drive the car the most. So you say, well, this is probably where you're going to be sitting. You have your power windows, you have your door locks, you have your radio, and you have someone sit in there and go ahead and show them what's going on, right? And then go ahead and go into the back of the car, or if it's a four-door or whatnot. And then you can go into like the safety locks that they have kids and stuff like that. Cup holders are important to most people. Work your way to the trunk area, show them how much room is in there. Hey, heck, you can fit a couple. Some people can say, hey, you could imagine how many bodies you could fit. I had Italian people come like, man, you could fit a bunch of bodies in there, and they'd start busting out laughing. Or you can imagine how being able to put that luggage that you need to put in the trunk here. Show them the spare tire, show them the jack, show them everything, show them the safety latch that's on there that glows in the dark just in case your kids get in there. Show them the 40-60 seating, how it would drop down, giving you so much room. I mean, there's so much value in every car. All these cars have it. What you do is you give them more value than the price of the car. There's so much value in this car, and it's not being sold. And that's why people have to give away stuff sometimes, because they're just not doing their job. I guess nowadays there's a shortage, so I guess that helps you guys. But walk around to the driver's side where the back part, and just name off stuff. The little slot that's in the back of the seat, so you can use that for storage. And then what you do is you walk over to the driver's side of the vehicle and say, well, you're going to be the driver most of the time. Go ahead and sit down in there. And what you do is you lean down and you go ahead and adjust their seat for them. And what you do is you should point out where you can adjust the steering wheel too. So your steering wheel is there. Sometimes you adjust it. You got to be careful with the ladies, especially if they have, invade their privacy. But normally what I do is I'd go ahead and say, this is where you adjust your steering wheel, show them, or if you can help them if you have to. And then what you do is you adjust it, say, is that good? Yep, that's good. And then you go ahead and get them, if they have to raise up, they got to go back. Where do they got to go on? If it's a power, most cars have power seats, so you can adjust their seat right there. Say, all right, then your radio's here, this, and here. Let me go ahead and grab your driver's license so we can take this for insurance purposes only. So we can go ahead and take this for a quick test drive. Okay, just go, hey, can I grab your driver's license? Like, just do this. And let me go ahead and grab your driver's license. They always give you a driver's license. So you assume the deal. So then what you do is you walk inside, this is the way I did it, and then I go ahead and make a copy of their driver's license, right? So realistically, I can literally give a copy of the driver's license and then I give them the driver's license back. Because if not, I have a whole pocket of fucking driver's license at the end of the day, and I got to leave them at the front, and the girl at the front has to give a whole pocket full. I've done it before. It's crazy. I was like, I've got like 2 driver's licenses, one in each pocket or something. I think it was 2 or 3 or something like that. But I was like, oh shit, I got to make sure. And that's what I did is I made copies of them, and then you go on a test drive. And then when you're on a test drive, what you do is you go ahead and you basically make like 4 right-hand turns or whatever it is. And then what you do is say, when you're driving, say, can you see yourself driving this car? Or can you see yourself driving this car to work? And I'm more selective more on the cars, but you do the same thing with motorhomes. Can you see your folks driving across the country in this motorhome? They go, yeah. And they'll go like this. They'll go. So what they do is they check they see it. They check if they're correctly organized or reverse organized. That'll depend on where they're going to look, if they're right-handed or left-handed, right? So they'll always look up and they visualize it, and then they'll look down. So what they do is when they look down, no matter which way they look down, they're actually feeling it, right? So they feel it, and they usually go yeah or no. So it's your first trial close, right? So there you go. There's one of your first trial closes. So when you get through, everything. You go through the test drive and say, yeah, I can see myself in this vehicle. So what you do is you drive back up, and if they say, no, I don't feel it, this sucks, let's go see. And then you go ahead and do the same thing, exact same thing that you did with the first one, the second one, or the third one. After you get to the third one, you can't go past 3. Usually you'll sell them the first one. Like the person's like, no, this one won't work. And be like, what about the first one that you showed me? And I'll sell them the first one. You'll make the most money on the first one anyways, because that's the way you worked it. So if you do it that way and you go ahead and go through, but then what you will do is when you get back to the dealership or whatever, and you say, folks, for what I understand, we found you the perfect vehicle, and if we can work on the numbers and everything, and it makes sense, would you folks be ready to take this vehicle home today? Well, yeah, let's face it, folks, the numbers have to make sense, because I wouldn't buy it. Let's face it, I wouldn't buy it if it didn't make sense. Okay, great. And then you bring them in, and you pencil everything up, and basically you sold yourself a car, because all it does is come down to numbers, and then you can actually go ahead and use, folks, you did say this is a perfect vehicle. You did say that the trunk is big enough. You did say that you could see yourself driving this vehicle. You did say, so you can actually use that write down. And we'll go into some negotiation later, but I think this is getting kind of a long video, so just start applying some of the stuff I've taught you today, and you will see your numbers go up big time. Have a good day. Now go get it.